Hi, welcome to today's episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen,
And I'm Kat Hardrick.
and we are here today with Chief J.D. McClure of the Gwinnett County Police Department.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you for joining us.
Yay! Hey, Chief McClure, how you doing?
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Happy to join you all.
We are so happy to have you,
Yeah.
despite all of our technical issues.
My apologies.
No apologies. When the gremlins are
No,
they're gremlins.
you know
So,
what? We love the fact that we have a very organic podcast, and we want the world to know that everything does not go perfect. So when you
There you
see those
go.
reality shows, no, we're here to let you know that technical issues happen. So you are Gwinnett County's Chief of Police. I want you to tell the world a little bit about yourself because we like to promote people talking about self. A lot of times we don't give our own selves our flowers, right? So I would love for you to, pat yourself on the back a little bit and tell the world why are you the police chief of Gwinnett County?
Well, again, thank you all for having me. I've been fortunate to serve the citizens of Gwinnett County for 29 years now.
wow.
Um, and it's been a blur. I feel like some days I feel like I just started yesterday. But ultimately,
Mm.
as at a young age, I wanted to be a police officer probably since I was 12 or 13. And I was pretty intentional in my convictions that I was going to accomplish that. Now, I didn't intend to be chief of police. As I'll tell a lot of the officers that I work with, I just wanted to be a good cop.
Mm,
And so I've been fortunate. I had a lot of really good leaders who poured into me. And in return, I've tried to pour into young up and coming leaders that we have. But in terms of the police department, I spent the bulk of my early years working in the Uniform Patrol Division. So it really gave me a different perspective because I was handling 911 calls and not necessarily budgets and charts and things like that. So I think from a uh, respect level, having spent so much time in the field, I think the officers here got to know me and had a level of respect for me. Um, from the uniform patrol aspect, I worked SWAT simultaneously during that time for 12 years.
mm,
I rose to the tactical team leader on the SWAT team. And then I received a promotion to police major. And so I was the central precinct commander, which is the Gwinnett Place Mall area. I was the commander there for about 2 years. I also spent time just prior to that in our criminal investigations division. So I had an opportunity to supervise our general crime squad, our burglary squad, our robbery squad, and then finally the homicide unit as well. And I've also had an opportunity to work in professional standards, which is our internal affairs and our backgrounds and recruiting unit. And then I was promoted to a position as the chief of staff for Chief Butch Ayers. From there, I was promoted to assistant chief, and I was put back in charge of our criminal investigations division. From there, I was promoted to deputy chief in charge of all of our operations bureau. That's all of our patrol units and all of our detectives. And then ultimately in August of 2021, promoted to the position of chief of police.
wow.
So I've had a chance to do a lot in the police department, which is why we encourage our young officers to move around and see different things so
Mhm.
that when you hopefully ascend up our chain of command, then you're much more prepared to lead the organization and serve the citizens of Gwinnett.
So you have it seems like you've been at every level,
Yeah.
from the street
You
patrol up to working your way through the ranks. I, I have to tell you that I give Gwinnett County Police the highest praise. We had an incident at our home a couple of years ago where a young man came to our back door and was trying to get into our house. We
Oh,
didn't
wow.
know it, and so my husband had gone downstairs and was getting ready. This young man was also getting ready to meet his maker. Um, but that didn't happen. We called the police, and I can't remember the officer's name. I had his name
Okay.
time. I had his call, but he came out and he was like, "Yeah, we know this guy. He sometimes a little bit,
Okay.
and so he knew him, but because he knew him, he said, I'm gonna go around and talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Battersby. It was Officer Battersby, and he
That's
came.
all
Yeah,
phenomenal detective now.
he came back and he talked to us. And he was like, yeah, he had some mental health problems and he has drugs, but it was because he knew him and it was that community policing.
Yes.
That was community policing because Battersby knew this person. He knew the community, and I know that he patrols over in that area. But that to me was a testament to the fact that the police are engaged and they are involved in the community. But
That's
and
right. And
he calmed our fears also because my husband was ready to go look for this man.
oh, I'm sure. I really appreciate that example. And John Battersby is a prime example of the type of officer that represents this agency well. You know, our part of our mission statement talks about treating our citizens in an unbiased and compassionate manner.
Mm,
And again, I say this over and over again. There are more examples of John Battersby in the Gwinnett County Police Department than there are not. So I appreciate you sharing your experience with us.
thank you for your leadership.
Amen.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Amen. And being a part of the Citizens Advisory Board, I will say, just personally from my heart, that I've got an opportunity to not only see you, but your staff and your team. And I really want people to know that you are setting the way, leading the way by saying, if there are bad apples, we're going to deal with them. And when we have great talent, we're going to promote from within. I had an opportunity to meet people who have been with Gwinnett County Police Department for years, like
Yes.
starting in the lowest of the lowest positions
Yes.
and working their way all the way up. And so that's something to be said, that you have that type of structure in place, that you look from within. And y'all invest a lot in y'all talent. Let's say that too.
We really do. What I want the community to know, very simply put, is my direction to every commander in our police department is two things. Number one, reduce crime in your area of operation. Doesn't matter where you work, everybody contributes to reduction of crime. Even our records technicians, right? If they don't process paperwork efficiently, then we don't get intelligence that tells us what we need to do. So everybody plays a part in reducing crime. And then secondly, the directive is you will build positive community relations with our residents. So it's something that we don't take lightly. In terms of our training, again, remember our basic recruits receive double the amount of training that is required by the state of Georgia. So we set a high
Wow.
standard, and when we fall short of that, one of the things we want to do first of all is take ownership of it, because we're not perfect, and I certainly don't want to come across as that, but we take great pride in the organization. And I think, Kat, to your point, I hope that's palpable, as you mentioned.
Right. So we know that
Absolutely.
Gwinnett County, we know that Gwinnett County Police Department is very engaged in the community, and so you have some community initiatives that are ongoing and some that are coming up. Can you tell us about some of the things that are going on in the community?
Right. So again, building those positive community relations plays such a big role in the success of any police department. And I often tell our citizens that if you go back and look at 2014, when Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, Missouri, the shooting was ultimately ruled justified by the Department of Justice. I think the problem that really outraged that community was that, and this is well documented in the after action reports, there is that the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department did literally no work to build relationship with their community. It was just write tickets, take people to jail.
Right.
Internal affairs investigations not thoroughly vetted, complaints not thoroughly vetted, and so you had a great mistrust in that community. We take the polar opposite approach: is every investment that we can make, every connection that we can make in the community will one day pay off. Because as I asked the community, if the Gwinnett County Police Department falls short, I'm not asking anybody to simply co-sign that and say, well, they got a great department. What I'm asking is for grace and opportunity to correctly investigate and problem solve, right? But we need our community to problem solve. So one of the things that we like to do is have different events to allow the community to have a voice. And so that it allows us the opportunity to separate fact from fiction. So on October 17th is an example of one such event. And I really want to applaud Kat and the members of the Gwinnett County Police Community Advisory Board for putting this event together. We'll be in the south area of the county in Snellville. We will hold a neighbors in uniform discussion, a panel discussion. So we'll invite officers from different ranks to come and talk to the community, to share their story, to answer questions. And again, this is just another attempt to build these positive relations in our community. Does that answer your question?
So we have a quick.
Go ahead, Kat.
Yes, and we have a quick flyer right here we're trying to share on our screen for all of our listeners. Again, this is conversations with your neighbors in uniform, right? Because our uniform men and women are our neighbors. They go to the same, their kids go to the same school and the grocery stores, and they are our neighbors. So this is an event on Thursday, October the 17th, like the Chief McClure said. It's like 6:30 p.m. at the OneStop Centerville Community Center, and that's at 3025 Bethany Church Road in Snellville, Georgia. And if you want more information, please go to Gwinnett County Police Department's website. Chief, can you give them that website's address, please?
Right. So GwinnettCounty.com. And then when you go there, there'll be an opportunity to kind of click on the police department, and then that information will be advertised there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can I just also add, this is a great time for me once again. Every time I speak to the public, whether it's in person or it's in a virtual form, I always appeal to the community for those people who are looking for employment. We are actively hiring police officers, communications officers. There's a lot of different roles in the police department that we need to fill. And so again, as we talk about this discussion, we want citizens to get involved and be a part of our team and a part of our processes. So and if you know anyone that's interested in employment as police, please have them reach out to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we definitely want that. Everybody, y'all heard that. It's more than just law enforcement. It's a ton of jobs in Gwinnett County Police Department. And I had an opportunity to tour the 911 center. Talk about that. Oh, man. Yeah.
So the unsung heroes, we refer to our 911 communications officers as the first responders, because many times before the police or the fire department or the sheriff department arrive, it's that 911 operator taking the call. So we are actively hiring for 911 communications officers. We probably have somewhere around 20 to 25 vacant positions. We have grown that unit a lot over the last 18 months. We have some new leadership there. So if anyone's looking for a challenging career, then certainly the 911 team is the place to be.
And give us that website one more time.
Right. So go to GwinnettCounty.com. Once you go on the website, you can actually click on police. And then we'll take you to our recruitment page where you can learn more about all the jobs in the police and actually be able to apply for 911 or police right there through the website.
Perfect. I'm loving it. So I know you are a very busy man. I want to say one last joke. Do you and the fire chief still compete in the gym?
That is funny. I know, Kat, you say that in jest because we go back and forth and tease one another, but I just want our citizens to know, and it's hard for me not to blow the trumpet for this organization. The fire department and the police department in a lot of different jurisdictions don't mesh well. They're competing for dollars. They're competing for space. That's why I tell our citizens we're really blessed that we work well together. We want to see each other be successful. We want to provide the best services to our community that we can, because at the end of the day, it's not about us as individuals. It's about the community, and it's about the service that we provide. And I can tell you, I spent a lot of time with Chief Cephas, and we're both dedicated not only to being role models for young African American kids, young Hispanic and Latino kids, just all kids and all adults here in the community. We want to be role models for. So I thank you for that. But yeah, just between me and you, I still got it.
I know, right? But that's you hit it right on the head, because the fact that y'all can just like that and play around just already speaks to the level of leadership y'all present to your teams, but how you have the example, right? You lead by example, how we have to work together, because we're only as strong as our weakest link. I've learned that in the military, and so we have to work together in a community. And I just love that. So I know y'all joke around with that, but to me, it speaks higher to how well all of these departments. And I wish more people would do that, because that's the only way we're going to get stronger. And that's why you're hosting this community outreach event, and with many more to follow.
Very excited for this opportunity. And I hope a lot of our residents will come out and just learn more about the police department. I can't say this enough. It's the community's department. You know, we are the community, and the community, that I always talk a lot about Sir Robert Peel. And Kat, you probably heard me say this a million times, but it is true. He's the father of modern day policing, who in the early 19th century established principles of policing that are still relevant today. And one of those was the idea that we should never forget that the community are the police and the police are the community. So we are really one, and we need each other to be successful.
Amen.
And
well, last question of the night, so you can get off and everybody can get on these airplanes and travel. Because listen, family, we are on the move constantly. How do you manage your stress, Chief McClure?
Yeah, great question. You know, one of the things I really kind of prod our leadership team is to take good care of themselves. And I prod the officers at the precincts, the same things, our 911 operators. I always tell them three things: take good care of your mental health, your physical health in terms of your physical fitness, and your financial health, right? We know, generally speaking, if our employees can keep those areas kind of between the lines, then they're going to be okay. So I try to take my own advice, whether it's just getting some exercise in, whether it's just reading or hiking. Physical fitness is probably my best outlet. But I constantly have to remind myself that I can't take care of the team if I don't take good care of myself. So thank you, Kat, for reminding me to do that.
Amen. Well, listen.
Absolutely, that is
yes, we appreciate you so much,
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. If there's anything that I can do, if I can help your podcast, or if I can, just do anything for you, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And to our listeners.
All right. God bless you all. Take care.
Stick around.
All right.
To our listeners, as always, we thank you for joining us on this episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat.
Well, we are impacting the world one conversation at a time.